Final Blitz at Dice, Final Blitz Skirmish at Dice. I'm going to go around the room asking people to introduce themselves quickly and give some hot takes, starting with the hot takes I heard earlier.
I'm Finley. My Blitz hot take. Well, I'm a veteran Blitz Betsy player. I've taken Betsy to every skirmish, and I've lost every skirmish 0-2, but I still think she's good. My Blitz hot take is that, well, the format's mega dead. I'm glad that we're not going to be playing it anymore. I think that's it.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I've won 2 skirmishes locally. Believe it or not, I don't mention that. I kind of like this because I kind of like Blitz because it's pretty quick. But I did put a Blitz winning deck tape that got 200 views, and we don't talk about that. But yeah, I like these kind of quicker formats. That's kind of why I'm excited for Silver Age. Silver Age is going to be a bit more balanced than this, so excited for that.
I personally can't believe how humble the Cuppa TCG crowd are. I've just spoken to 2 of them, and they've not dropped once their amazing content creation run this year.
I'm Ryan, and my Blitz hot take is the Emperor should still be playable, but unfortunately he is not because they banned Stormstriders.
I'm Callum, and any format that I can transcend in, I bloody well will. So welcome to Blitz.
I have nothing good to say about Blitz. I'm Aiden. Fuck Blitz.
Right, I'm now at the other side of the room. If everyone could introduce themselves and give a hot take about Blitz, unless they really don't want to.
Oh, hello, I'm Ross, local bottom dweller of league tables at Dice usually. Don't know. It would be fun to play Riptide with less cards in deck and get to his legendary specs easier.
I'm Tom. I've been playing Fab for probably 2 months now. I'm playing Syndra, so I think that's probably a hot take in and of itself, because I don't think it's going to be very good. But, you know, I'm going to try.
I'm Pippa. I've been playing Fab for 5-ish years. I'm the all-time biggest Blitz fan in the world, and I think it deserved more support. It needed more. It needed more. Okay, they scrapped it. Man, they took all the cool heroes. All the coolest heroes were Blitz legal only.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and I'm playing one of the stupidest decks I've ever seen in my life, and I can't wait to go 0-4, but do the thing at least once.
And finally...
Sure. Hello, John. What can I do for you? I am going to...
What do you think about Blitz?
Oh, as we all know, Blitz is one of my favourite formats. Almost as sad as Pippa to see it go. Do you want my actual opinion? Or... I think Blitz was great back in the day, and it's now served its time. It's ready to go out to pasture.
The guy who actually did the art for Energy Potion has just rocked up. Do you want to introduce yourself and give us your final thoughts on Blitz before it sunsets into the distance?
Sure. It's a fantastic format. Got me into the game. Still always thankful for that. Glad it's gone.
And that looks like everyone playing today. Thank you very much. Welcome to Energy Potion, a flesh and blood podcast where we chat about trying, failing, and sometimes succeeding to play flesh and blood as competitively as we can. This episode was recorded in front of a live audience at an exclusive secret location. Before you smash the like, follow, or subscribe buttons, just take a moment. Do you really want your friends and connections to hear the latest hot takes and root techs before you get to play them yourself?
Why don't you tell us what we're going to talk about today, John?
So, there's some big bits of news. One is that you got beaten in a Sage tournament
I
on
got
Monday.
Smashed. I got absolutely
What was your result, Toby?
I think technically it was 4-3, but because I couldn't get the laptop to work and I was doing it all by hand, I conceded to Ethan, so it would mean that Ethan won outright on the night.
That's good of you.
And What was your result, Lara?
Oh, I actually went 2-3, which is pretty great.
That's pretty good. That's
pretty
pretty
good
good. Who were the victories against for your first ever Sage? For your first ever, not Sage, sorry, Fab tournament.
So you can see who are the victims.
Who are the victims? Who were the victims? Who were your two victims?
The poor souls who I went against, the lovely Pippa and our favorite boy Toby.
That's me.
Oh, you know what? He made it seem really, really easy, and I feel like it's because I was new. He was really being kind to me.
You just smacked me. I was playing fight, she was playing Ira. There was a turn where I was like, cool, I'm going to take some damage to push through a turn. Took more damage than I would have liked, and then pushed next to no damage. And was like, well, this sucks. And it's just a 20 life format, so I've lost. I'm just dead. So yeah.
Good.
That did happen.
Poor Pippa, it came to her turn. I pushed through a bunch of damage, and she was like, well, if you've got an attack reaction here, I've lost. And the last card in my hand was in fact an attack reaction.
Get Razor Reflex.
Attack reactions, killing people with attack reactions is fun. It is fun.
And Pippa rolled quite well in that game. She was playing Berserker Run. She hit quite a few doubles.
Well, her last game she did really well. She was rolling only sixes.
She did then play a game against the new guy.
Oh no!
And proceeded to roll, I think, 5 out of 6 with doubles.
It did feel a bit mean. This poor guy.
And they were on Terror, and they were blocking pretty well because they were playing Terror. Even then, if Berserker Run's in the mood to get in a fight, you're not stopping him.
It's a grown-up game, so there are no 9-year-olds to beat. So beating new players is basically all we've got. Facts.
Yeah, give them a rush, put them in their place to be like, well, if you work hard and you put your time in, you can get to where I am.
You too can get rolled by Berserker Run. Yeah.
But fun format?
Oh, it was so fun. I had a great time, and everyone was so nice. I was very patient when when they would play something, and I'd look at them blankly, and they'd be like, okay, so if I do this...
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of heroes that people play in CC at DICE where people will be sat opposite me and like, what does that card do? Sorry, I've never seen that before. And you'll be like, oh, you see, so Reiner, Reckless Rampage. They remind what was it, the Armory last week where we had like 2 Maxes, 3 Riptides, 3 Reiners, me playing Fi. Oh yeah, the 2 4-0s being Fi and Marlin. Yeah, that was it.
Yep, of course.
Classic Dice Mag game.
Yep.
So that was
who was the most patient? Who wins most patient?
I think it would be a tie between Nick and Ethan, only because Ethan was telling me how to play my deck.
Okay,
and Nick was my first game, and so he was very, very patient in waiting for me to read my cards, and then very detailed explained what his whole deck did. And then would play cards and say, if you don't deal with this, you will be taking this amount of damage.
Yeah.
So like this would be something to look at. And then Ethan would play a couple dragons and be like, so my dragons are just 1 health right now. So you can ping them with Kadachi.
That's nice. My first game was against Nick. It lasted 2 turns. But it did take him half an hour to explain how all the things worked whilst he was destroying me.
Yeah. That's part of the fun.
Mask Momentum. It's like if you block this.
Oh, isn't it? How ironic that Mask of Momentum was your introduction to the game, and now you're here.
This is the theory I've heard. The theory I've heard is that the first hero you actually really enjoy turns out to be the first one you lost to.
Sounds pseudo-Freudian.
Yeah. Well, it was one of the London players, so it could well have been who told me this.
But I'm immediate proof that isn't the case.
Well, who was the first hero you lost to?
I can't remember.
Well, it might have been Reiner.
It definitely wasn't Reiner.
It could have been Reiner.
It almost guaranteed, because my first few games were me playing Reiner versus Stephen playing Viserai. It was Viserai. And I have an in-depth, almost like ancient hatred of not just Viserai, but the Runeblade cast as a whole.
Do you have all the Runeblade cards?
Yeah. But that's just in case, John. Just in case of emergencies. I mean, my hatred for Viserai is probably only eclipsed. Oh, that's actually a really good pun. Only eclipsed by Chain. They're gonna love that. They're gonna love that one.
I do the puns too. You do colourblind jokes that go over my head, according to Mod.
Briar, I also do detest Briar, and I suppose more recently I have a vitriolic hatred for Aurora as well. Everything they stand for is what I dislike in the game of Flesh and Blood.
Are these not just heroes that LL fairly quickly?
Well, there's a reason for that, John.
Because you hate them? There's now a non-coincidental link between your hatred of a hero
and them being strong,
them being really good.
Yeah, Mr. Flesh and Blood.
But then I guess you could argue that typically the decks that are strong are something that do something that kind of break the game balance. And I guess, especially when you look at a deck like Briar that didn't really play many Runeblade cards or many Earth or Lightning cards, she just played really good generic attacks and benefit from that. A lot of what Aurora did too was just 0 for 4 deck, that kind of stuff. Essentially what I'm saying is aggro decks that feel, I don't want to say cheap because I'm really going to upset some of the Runeblade players, but obviously the way those decks they're all different as well. They're an evolution of the way the Runeblade class has gone throughout time. Like Viserai, intrinsically when he LL'd, was a very different deck to when Chain LL'd. The same for when Briar LL'd. The same for when Aurora LL'd.
But you hated them all.
I do hate them all.
You do hate them all.
Except now I do also play a Runeblade.
You do also play them. Out of curiosity, in fact, you played 2 Runeblades.
Yeah, Vincent's cool.
Yeah, Vincent is cool. But out of curiosity, which hero do you hate the most at the moment?
I don't think I do hate any heroes at the moment.
That doesn't help me, Toby.
I think, but again, I think right now I've reached, you know, the peak of I'm in a peace, almost like in a Buddhist kind of way, and I've become at one.
I'll ask you after BNR which
with the
hero
metagame as a whole. I mean, in terms of decks that I dislike playing against the most.
You've got to hate the hero for them to be solidly good.
But even Kano, I don't think I hate Kano.
Exactly. So
as much as I just pity him.
I'll wait until you hate a hero again and then 0 in. Maybe that might be how I choose my hero.
I'd say something like Acilio and the amount of non-games that Acilio brings, but also
you don't hate him.
Acilio does some really cool. He's just a cool little guy.
You don't hate him. You've got to hate.
But I'll never hate a hero like I hated Viserai or Chain or Briar.
I'm so looking forward to our post-Pen Hero reveal chat.
When they sneak in Briar 2 or something like that, and I'm like, I can't believe it. But you've got this to look forward to, dear, because you will learn to hate the way I have.
I don't think I'll have a post-tournament crash out though.
No.
There's time.
You're just as competitive as I am, dear.
I mean, there was one member of Seabass who took a zipper hit, a 0 to 60, and then 6 mechs to the face, and I never saw them again.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that will do it.
I'm still really sorry about that.
That will do it.
I mean, it was a good fun turn to play, but before the high octane ban.
At what cost?
I never saw them again.
I bet they packed up quite swiftly.
Obliterated the poor person.
They were definitely unhappy about it.
Understandably.
And I've not seen them in 18 months. So, you know,
they'll be back.
Some disgusting things can happen.
When Max LLs, they'll be back.
When Max LLs, they'll be back.
No, there's, I mean, we can segue actually into me playing Florian. So we can talk a little bit about the Blitz.
Blitz. So yeah, because we had the end of Blitz. And at some point, I will edit in some micro interviews with some of the Seabass players. I popped down. I've recorded a few people hanging around about their pre and post tournament thoughts for the Sunset of Blitz.
The buzz in the room, the excitement.
I got some really cool, like left and right of arc views on the format.
I'm sure you got some very, very interesting views.
I did. It was upbeat-ish.
I think everyone was quite chipper. I mean, like, you know, the kind of funeral where, you know, the person says, I want everyone to be happy at my funeral. No one being miserable.
No one wear black.
Exactly. No one wear black. Everyone have a nice time. Have a drink. That kind of stuff. Is how I celebrated the death of Blitz.
Was it?
Pippa was on the ground, like, screaming, crying.
I did capture her...
Actually, yeah, Pippa seemed all right, all things considered.
Obituary for Blitz. So... yeah.
Can't wait to see that written out.
In the paper. Well, it'll be an extended length episode.
Well, it might have to be, yeah.
I did try and pull the mic away a couple of times.
Give it back. Give it back. I need to go home.
But I feel she felt better after
yeah,
that.
she got off her
chest.
Well,
I'll try and weave that in with the editing. So, okay, final Blitz tournament. How'd it go?
I was undefeated until the final.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Well, it is pretty good.
Who then defeated you?
Kyle, unfortunately, on Blaze.
Did Kyle actually win their
third
reason, skirmish?
The whole reason I was taking this seriously is because I couldn't stand the fact that if Kyle wins this, in terms of Seabass as a whole, he has the most skirmish wins.
Wow.
If I won it, it would have been
also
it would be a tie between me, Kyle, and him.
Is that the most rated event wins?
No, because 1, skirmishes aren't rated.
Okay, fine, cool.
And 2, Charlie has that
Oh, Charlie's got that one set
because he's the only one that actually counts as races. But also, Charlie was on 3 anyway, right? If we count Blitz, count skirmishes,
okay, fine.
he was on 2 skirmishes and 1 ProQuest.
So, Charlie, who we've had speaking on here before.
Yeah, I've spoken to Charlie once or twice.
But Kyle won the whole thing.
Kyle did win the whole thing on Blaze as well, on a deck that he essentially picked up maybe a week and a half before. Going, she looks cool. She looks like she's probably the best deck in the format.
Aptly named hero for Kyle. 'Cause when Kyle's on fire, he is unbeatable.
Someone did say that in a format and for a deck like Blaze, where you approximately play 2 to 3 turns per game, it's perfect for a man with ADHD like Kyle, because he needs to concentrate really hard for those 2 to 3 turns, and then he's done. And honestly, it works. It worked quite aptly because we did play 2 to 3 turns, and I just exploded. I just didn't do anything. Because it turns out Florian not solid into Blaze, but into everything else, felt like you were playing, well, a Blitz deck versus them playing whatever they were playing. You only get to banish 4 Earth cards to get online in Blitz.
That's true. That's pretty busted.
It's incredibly busted.
Given that banishing cards happens at the same pace as in
Yeah,
CC.
I played a Cadaverous into a Felling.
Yep.
And I'm online.
Yeah.
I'm winning, John.
Mostly.
I blocked with those Earth cards I put in the bin as well. It was sick. I mean, I've been enjoying Florian, obviously, in CC as well.
A Runeblade, by the way.
A Guardian, let's be honest.
Just to point out.
Emphasis on the Earth.
Just for those who don't realise, Florian is a Runeblade.
Yeah. Put it like this. Florian feels now more like Viserai did, unfortunately, when I first started playing the game, I guess you could argue. In that when Viserai was bad. And Florian feels like that. Florian feels like a Guardian. And that's why I like him, because he blocks.
Okay.
He's the king of mid-range. And you can't. Well, you can. There are some mid-range decks you can lose to, in like Rhino and stuff like that. But he's fun in that regard.
Yeah. So what other heroes do we have? Sunsetting, Blitz. Who made a showing?
We had. I mean, from my games alone, Ryan was playing Aurora, obviously a hero currently only legal in Blitz. Then Callum was playing Zen. That had actually LL'd in Blitz and then got brought back. And obviously
got put back.
He loves his Crouching Tigers.
Yes, loves his Crouching Tigers and his lookalike hero.
I played Ross playing Riptide, and let me tell you, that was the closest out of all of them.
Really?
That deck was terrifying. I gave him second, or gave him second, set up some Rune Chants going first, set an Arsenal. Felt quite chuffed.
As Runeblade too.
Exploring things. And then he just proceeds to fire, I think it was not a mobilizing shot, the one that gains Dominate for like 10 with 2 frailties on.
Nice.
No, a frailty, a blood rot, and an inertia token on it, and I couldn't block it out.
No.
So I was like, cool. That must have been a one-off thing. That was good.
Decks and formats. Yep.
And then you just keep doing it every turn. He just kept firing arrows at me. It got to the point where I had to pivot and fatigue him. Because I was like, I need to start blocking properly because I can't do it. So that was really, really close. That was a lot closer than I think he realised it was. So I was looking at my deck being like, okay, I have Earth Blues left. I think I have Everbloom Life in case I need to like just loop those.
Yeah.
But because I had Reaping Blade and he had less life than me, I couldn't do the loop. And if he just fired an arrow for 15 Dominate, I died. So I got quite lucky in that regard. And then played against Charlie, playing what can only be lovingly described as a Dorinthia Brew. In which he presented Centauri Saber, Quicksilver Dagger, and proceeded to, on one turn, hit me with that Quicksilver Dagger 5 times.
Oh my god!
He literally perforated me, quite literally, playing the card Perforate.
Okay.
I have a pincushion. Obviously, getting the extra attack with Perforate, and then getting the extra attack from having hit with Dory, and then having the extra attack from having hit with Twist and Turn. He essentially just like shanked me, like 6 to 7 times. So that was a pretty cool proof of concept. Unfortunately, I got to play D-Reacts, which kind of is the antithesis to all Dory decks, apart from I guess Decimator. But no, that was quite fun. Then I got paired into Charlie in the quarters because it was cut to top 4, so we ran that one back. And he had a great time, I promise. Charlie having made top 8 on, I think, a 2-3 record.
Yeah, something like that. It was a weird one.
To the top. Weird one, I think, partially because of all some draws, some pair downs, and also people just not wanting to play any more games of Blitz.
That'll do it.
The upbeat mood went downhill fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other semi-finals was Kyle obviously on Blaze against Finley on Marlin, obviously. Having a good time with Marlin, is young Finley.
Yep.
And did very well again. And yeah. I mean, all kinds of people just playing essentially their last horror.
There was an
decks.
Emperor, there was a Syndra.
Yeah, Pippa played the Emperor. Tom, one of the newer players, played Syndra. And everyone just had a nice little time, knowing full well that they could play in the Armory CC later.
Yes.
I think. And obviously, as ever, people talk about this is fun. Can't wait for Sage. All that kind of stuff. And this was kind of doubled up actually because they then talk about it in the dev talk.
In the dev talk,
like a few hours later,
something happened. So I've heard something happened, but I've not watched the dev talk, Toby, because I'm waiting for you to tell me.
Oh, well, let's go straight into it. We had a great time at the skirmish for Blitz, and then, like I said, we go into a dev talk where the first thing they talk about is the future of Blitz,
which we didn't think was going to exist.
Well, yeah, I thought the future of Blitz was going to be there is none. But yeah, we ended up. I think we were in bed, weren't we? And the posted the video in the chat, being like, "Dev talks out." I'm like, "Fantastic."
He wasn't looking at me there.
Yeah, sorry. Talk about Lara. Me and John don't share a bed quite often, so.
Not on big nights like dev talks.
No, exactly. Yeah, not.
We'd be up all night chatting.
Not on school nights. But
kicking your feet.
Exactly. Yeah, just twirling my hair, you know. But no, it comes out. They talk. So yes, it's little Jimmy White and Brian Gottlieb. They lead with Blitz because they know it's the hot topic on everyone's.
Yes, because everyone
minds.
Thinks it's gone for good.
Everyone was like, finally,
90%
Blitz is gone,
or more of the room is happy with that.
It's content. God, thank God, Blitz is finally dead. We can bury it and move on.
It's all right, Pippa. I will put them on login here sometime.
You can maybe list it as an unlisted video and link to it in the description. No, so they talk about Blitz and they have essentially ripped it apart and gone from ground zero. Everything's unbanned, first and foremost. Anything that was
everything's
allowed,
unbanned.
Everything's unbanned. Any card that was banned is unbanned.
Including heroes?
Any hero that was LL'd is un-LL'd.
So they basically reset the format?
Kind of.
Okay.
Except they have imposed a singleton clause. So you can play one of each card. Which for your equipment is fine.
Yeah. Unless you're Olympia.
Kind of, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you're playing your base set of flexes is a lot worse. But if you're playing Olympia and Blitz, I've got other news for you.
Well, maybe Olympia is good in the singleton format.
You get to play. You only get to play one of all the Transcend cards, which is really sad for Zen. You only get to play one.
Wasn't there only one?
Yeah, one of each. That was
each anyway. Okay, fine.
Yeah, you get to play one of all your legendary cards. You do only get to play one Zephyr Needle.
So it does include
includes your equipment and your weapons.
So no double Kodachi.
So Ira can't go double Kodachi, although Ira will be quite content to throw one Zephyr Needle because
Zephyr Needle Kodachi is still pretty good.
It is, or Zephyr Needle Ornate Tessin. Honestly, you can do whatever you want as long as you get that needle. You can crack it as many times as you want.
Don't get excited, Nick.
He loves his cold foil
Nick
Ornate
does
Tessin.
have a selection of cold foil Ornate Tessins
But
at his
that's the
disposal.
premise: is that they've kind of taken the limiter off and gone, have fun with it. Go crazy with it. It's singleton, so it kind of emulates Commander EDH from Magic to that degree. But obviously,
don't know what that is.
Well, I'm glad you said it. I thought it'd be hunted.
No,
they're playing.
I don't know.
They're playing very much with power and with fire, right? They're saying, look, you can do whatever you want because you've only got one of each card. You're looking for your power card more often than not. The issue is you get to play a lot of power cards, like
especially if you're Fi. No, does Fi
does
Fi have enough?
Fi only gets to play one Stubby Hammers is the thing. And one Phoenix Flame.
One Phoenix Flame, one Stubby Hammers.
And, well, no, actually, you
and one of each 0 for 3 headjack.
The colour, so they've kept the colour clause, so different coloured cards still count as different cards. So you can actually play 3 Belittle and 3 Minimism.
Oh, you're fine.
If you really want.
Yeah.
Same way that Zen can play one of each colour of the bonds.
This is easy.
One Art of War. It's
easy
literally just a race to who can do the most dumb shit possible first. And that looks fun. We've already seen a few lists crop up, mainly from Japanese players on Twitter, of people doing their deck lists, and they look pretty cool. You can immediately see what they're trying to do, and immediately go, wow, I'm really glad this isn't a competitive format.
Yep.
Because that's the other key clause, is that it is not going to be a competitive format.
Right.
In theory, there is not going to be anything that is, I don't want to say important, but there's not going to be. There's no
here's
Blitz
something you can
forward.
play, but we're not going to care about it too much, at least for now.
Exactly. They do mention in passing that it's going to kind of fill a gap akin to Commoner did in some of these big events, where there'll be like a Blitz event at
I
every
see.
big calling and
there'll
stuff.
be a Blitz
as
event
a side event.
As a side event,
and maybe
yeah.
you win a law book. Maybe anyway, it's gonna be, and they'll keep an eye on Blitz in that regard and go like that. They also do say that if it becomes incredibly popular and people start, really turning out for it, here's something they don't. They might look into
Sage
it a
is
bit
coming,
more.
people. Sage is coming.
They might look into it a bit more and go, cool, maybe bring Blitz back at some point too.
Sage is a really fun format, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually is.
Well,
Don't fall for the shiny Blitz.
Yeah, I guess you're quite lucky in that. For a lot of us, our introduction to the game was Blitz. Your introduction was Sage.
Yeah, I'm going in with only the fun stuff.
Well,
I have no memory of what could have been.
You get what I would describe more as, at least to me, a de facto flesh and blood experience. Like the way Sage is now, even though maybe a few things are a bit overtuned here or there, you're not getting like completely exploded turn 0 like happened in Blitz quite a lot actually at the time I was playing it more consistently.
Does still happen in Sage sometimes.
It can happen in Sage.
Arrow for 15, dominate, toxicity on top.
Yeah, exactly. Azalea can do some silly stuff, Chain can do some silly stuff, Viscerai can do some stupid stuff. You could argue the other side of the spectrum, Oldhim can do some annoying blocking stuff, same for Terra.
But Sage is definitely a fun little format.
It is a fun little format, and that's what James and Brian say.
Did they talk about Sage?
They talk about my love Sage. They talk about him.
Did they talk about Sage?
They mentioned it in depth, to the point where they go into a lot of detail, talk about how Sage, as we're playing it right now, before Compendium, is untested and unproven because they didn't even think anyone would want to play it.
There's no data on it.
They've made some mistakes there.
So so all of their testing, all of their understanding, everything they've possibly put into a BNR, a future BNR perhaps, balancing, all that kind of stuff.
Wait a second.
Is post Compendium.
So there's no Sage cards getting banned in the BNR.
I didn't say that, John.
Okay, fine.
Because they didn't say at all if this format that they're playing, this future post-pen format, hadn't had some bans and all that stuff. There's a world where we get to this BNR and in their internal testing,
but they're banning things. But they'll be banning things then for after pen is out, not
possibly.
Not okay.
Because they do as an aside, they do mention how obviously the voting of the banning of heroes isn't a balanced tool.
Yep, it is.
They'll be using it more of a rotational tool. They'll be balancing it separately through stuff like BNRs. So that did kind of give me the implication that maybe there will be some bans and such in this BNR in a week or so now. Obviously, a lot of us locally in the cuppers, a lot of us locally playing just in CBAS have been saying that we've been playing the format a lot. We do think it might need some tweaks here or there in terms of balance. Obviously, this dev talk says, well, we hadn't been balancing it before pen at all. So if we do any bans, it's going to be just because we kind of want to. Yeah. Well,
which makes a lot of sense. I think that makes a lot of sense. That the pieces fall into place because, when we've been talking about balancing current Sage, almost every deck needs something banned. But also, you've got cards that.
Not my decks, John.
But not the way you play them, no.
No. Can't ban Phoenix Flame, John.
But we do also have Blade Beckoner equipment that is just so useful in so many decks that I do think they have to do a lot with pen to make it make it the format I feel they want.
They are. I mean, they've already said they're going to print loads of equipment in Compendium. They're going to print maybe weapons. We didn't really mention weapons as much. We saw the claw, but that was an M, so we'll see. It might just be exclusively equipment. To maybe kind of push away from this. Well, a lot of these equipment sets are starting to sort of merge and look very samey.
Yeah.
Not dissimilar to how Fab was in the olden days, where your equipment suite was skullcap, tunic, and then maybe some of your equipment from your class if you've got it. So we kind of have that a bit with Blade Beckoner at the moment. The hope is that a few of these pieces will be printed and sort of break that stalemate a little bit, but not too much, because I do have cold full Blade Beckoner equipment that I want to
I don't think it'll be played much at all, Toby.
I think it'll be one of those things where it'll be each hero might have one slot where Blade Beckoner still fills the gap.
Don't know.
And also, it depends on the hero you're playing against. If Ira is top dog, then Blade Beckoner is always going to be solid.
So right now, the best decks in Sage pretty much play are the best decks because they can play pretty much their pre-CC LLing or CC equivalent deck because the
It's a
CC
bit
deck
toned
didn't
down, yeah.
didn't need the legendary equipment or didn't need the M's to basically function on its
Or
plan.
just only to
You
push
know,
20, right? They don't need the...
Azalea, I don't really know about Chain, but Oldhim, none of these decks are doing... These decks are doing the thing they were doing in CC.
Well,
Why?
to a degree.
These decks are doing the thing they were doing in CC. Ira. These decks are
Chain's
doing the
actually
thing they were doing in
things he's
CC.
doing in LL
Yes,
instead.
but-
He's like the RuneGate stuff.
But these decks doing the thing without having to change the archetype too much. And I think Pen's done its job well. Every hero has to make choices about how they play that now makes them all very different from their CC versions.
Yeah, I mean, and one way of doing that is by putting these
Yeah.
new cards. Another way is obviously by banning some of those pieces. I'd
Yeah.
rather see additive than subtracting, sort of
Yeah.
like balancing. I do think to a degree, like we were saying before, there's going to be some cards that kind of will be very hard to outpower or to without like really power creeping the format, and so kind of you ban them and just give them a replacement instead, that kind of thing. But we don't know. We've been waiting for this BNR for so long now that we've been talking about it for so long. It kind of almost feels like it's Christmas in its own right.
Exactly. Well, we'll get to the BNR when it happens, if we have a chance over the festive period
Exactly.
to talk about it.
We're all very busy. If we get a chance to record
Anything else
some...
from the dev talk?
Yes.
Go on.
They do mention CC a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
One of my preferred formats. Only one of.
They do
these
talk
days.
to it about talk about it as the flagship format for Fab, and I would agree.
Feels reasonable.
They do talk about how right now the format is probably the healthiest it's ever been. And the strongest
we've said
it's
this.
ever been.
We've agreed. They should stop listening to us. They stop stealing our stuff.
They should. Well, we do have listeners in New Zealand, so it kind of makes sense that they would
maybe it
hear us
filters through. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely Jimmy and Brian, isn't it? So that makes
Is
perfect
Brian
sense.
based in New Zealand?
Well, he's in the dev talk.
Oh, well, okay.
I assume he
fair.
moved out there when he got the job.
I don't know. Anyway, Brian's living arrangements to one side. What else they talk about for CC?
That despite that,
Yep.
despite the balance being so good, that they are looking to do a shake-up.
Yes.
They're looking to do...
I thought that wasn't news. Is that news?
Well, it's news because it was in the dev talk.
Okay, fine.
And we're talking about the dev talk.
Fine.
So, they're looking to do a shake-up. Despite that, they're looking to, sort of break... I don't want to say the monotony. They describe it as presenting a new puzzle to be solved, which is quite eloquent,
Very
I
Jimmy.
think. It's
Very
very
Jimmy.
Jimmy. It was Jimmy who said it,
Yep.
And then they said it another like 5 or so times. And
Well, yes.
They-
Once,
but they
once
use
the
the word
boss
puzzle
uses a
a lot.
phrase that good, you're going to repeat it a few
yeah,
times.
until the word puzzle starts sounding like it's not a real word,
Yep.
But they do talk about that. And again, they don't really give us any clue as to how that might look, because obviously that's what the BNR's for. But that is that. And they do mention it directly in relation to RTN season as well, as to how they want this new fresh format for RTN season. And again, it'll be interesting because it will just be for that RTN season. We will have... Like the RTN season in itself is going to evolve because Kano is going to go probably quite quickly, and then obviously we're going to get Compendium straight afterwards, which means that little pocket meta game that we get is going to be exclusively for that.
Which is always fun.
Well, the last one was Florian dominated, and I had fun, but a lot of people didn't. So
you think Florian's going to dominate again one way or the other?
I think they need to make sure to have the checks in place to make sure he doesn't. Obviously, I've said this a few times now, and I'm not
But
alone
is
in
it wrong
that.
if he does? Because he's not so giga busted that
I know for a fact
him being best deck in format isn't the end of the world.
that there are enough people who remember the last time that will be immediately dissuaded.
Oh, on Twitter?
On Twitter, locally.
Really?
Yeah, well...
I mean, half the people locally play Florian, so...
Yes,
I've got
it's
like
the
a
other,
stand
it's
on
the other
really.
half, actually, who are less incentivised
I don't mind people playing Florian.
Well,
You
some
just
of us don't. Some
intimidate.
Some of us do, but again, it's a change-up, right? People want that shake-up, and if it doesn't feel, it feels
People
like less
want
of a
the
shake-up.
People always want the shake-up that makes their favourite decks better.
Yes, of course,
Yeah,
John.
exactly.
Of course.
People always want...
But
Yeah.
fundamentally, if the RTN season is spent figuring out that puzzle, people don't care if by the end of it they figure out that their favourite deck isn't actually the best deck in the format, right? Because they've at least had the journey of trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And a lot of it will be people playing just their pet decks or the 3 decks they kind of have in rotation and trying to see if they fit. There'll be obviously a lot more going, what's the best deck? I want to win every RTN. Same for any season, but obviously it's going to be condensed into that little pocket. So that's interesting to see in its own right.
Okay.
The issue is,
the good
of
thing is
course,
they know that's happening. They planned for it.
is that we know that Earth's been strong for a long time. We know that Earth is strong. And in terms of if you're playing a quote unquote mid range deck, and you're not playing Earth, you have to have a really good reason why. The same was the case for aggro and Syndra, and then obviously like board state versus Gravy, that kind of stuff. So they not only need to take those sort of like archetypes down, they need to shake up. I don't think you can ever shake up the kind of big three mindset at all in terms of the way Fab meta works, but they need to do something to at least make it quote unquote difficult to solve those days.
You know what else cynically I factor in there as well? What's the worst selling set of this year?
Oh, you think they're going to buff it?
I think, yeah. I would cynically go at that point, they will nerf so many decks that they're... And I'm going to say maybe it was Mastery Pack Guardian?
But Mastery Pack Guardian wasn't a full set.
So well, no, it wasn't a full set, but what do they need to do to make Guardians good? Not just playable.
They need to take Gravy out back.
But they'd need to nerf Jarl, because otherwise Jarl becomes too strong.
Well, Jarl is a Guardian.
He is, but they'd need to nerf the very strong fatigue Jarl archetype somehow. So Everbloom Life Going does not help him.
People have been saying it for a while.
Yeah. Even Jason said it to the Cuppers on their interview. Mm-hmm. But then what do you have to do? Let's go down the road of they really want to shake things up. They've said this, so we're now primed to expect a shake up. Sorry, unknown listeners in New Zealand, if this is upsetting, but but they've said they're going to shake up, so we're all primed for the shake up, and it shakes up so much, Guardian gets good.
Well, you say that Mastery Pack Guardian is the worst selling set.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe it was.
Well, I think it was.
Well,
definitely the worst received.
Because it was a surprise to me that DTD was the best selling set.
Followed closely by probably our most recent set that I enjoyed in a great deal.
It's a fun set. That everyone I talked to about it says Super Slam was like the best set in recent times because it was balanced and fair, and therefore unplayable because it was balanced and fair.
I talked to a lot of people with different opinions about Super Slam. I have a lot of people who, because Super Slam was kind of non-impact or low impact, and because the heroes don't necessarily appeal to them, and also because of the wrestling sub thing that a lot of people didn't agree with, fundamentally it was seen as kind of a flop, right?
Yep.
Now, I know it's sad, right? Because I really like it.
Well, yeah, I had a lot of people say that they loved Pleiades, though.
Yeah, Pleiades is really cool.
She is a pretty cool looking hero.
Underhanded Cheat is a cool character. Life is a cool character with a good breakup that was also mentioned in the dev talk, by the way. Jimmy mentioned Jason Rolfe directly about Life doing well at the weekend. Or in Valencia, so a couple of weekends back now. Tough Nut is legal, and I have a Marvel of him now, so I want to build him too. But again, the key tenet of Super Slam is that they definitely erred on the side of caution. It's something we've said before in the podcast. And obviously they banned Talk a Big Game.
Well,
as part of that erring.
Yes.
Now, unbanning Talk a Big Game, giving it back to something like Volder as well, does juice these Guardians, like you said. Does give them one hell of a power spike. It does also, in theory, spike some of the brutes as well. KO's not going to be armed and dangerous, but Rhino's certainly good. So that's a world where you kind of like shift the dimensions a little bit in addition to
but they
heavy
need to
bans.
ban a lot to make it happen.
They have to ban less if they're unbanning Talk a Big Game.
Yeah, okay, so they unban Talk a Big Game, but they have to ban quite a bit as well. Because they probably have to ban something from Jarl, Verdance, Gravy, and Syndra, at least.
At minimum.
Yeah, at least.
And the Verdance card probably has to be...
But we're now primed for it. So I'm
as
cynically going, what makes Guardian good? Because that's where that feels like it's taking us, is a big shift into cynically buying more of the thing that didn't do well.
Well, if they want to sell more Super Slam, if they want to sell more Super Slam Marvels, which is essentially what you're doing if you're buying a box, that's what you're hoping for, right? The Marvels. They need to push those heroes and make them strong.
Yeah.
And outside of Underhanded Cheat, Talk a Big Game goes in all of them.
Yes, okay.
And does a good job doing it. I mean, Talk a Big Game in Tough Nut is also a little bit mid, but it is what it is. It's blue, pitches for rock. So the key tenet here is that there are cards that can be unbanned. Well, there's a card that can be unbanned. And there are cards that can be banned. What other cards could be unbanned to really shake things up?
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm's not banned.
The books.
Sure.
Let's brainstorm 3.
I think books are off the table. I think
high octane.
I think after the display at Worlds, high octane while DO is still legal.
I have put that DO deck together just in case an LL format
Someone
comes
wants
around.
to play LL.
Just in case an LL format. I'm ready. I've got that DO deck.
They do
it looks
talk
like a lot
about
of fun.
LL in the dev talk as well. They do mention it in passing, how they liked where it was for Worlds. They thought it was an enjoyable format. They thought it was probably not even solved. There were more decks that could have been found, all that kind of stuff. But it will also be taking a backseat to CC and Sage for the next year at least.
Yeah.
Because they're pushing Sage, right?
Yeah, of course. We've said this.
Which is, again, what we said on the podcast, and so naturally they copied it.
I know. Yeah. If we just keep talking about the good, like, a long time ago, you were talking about Reinar with another blue 6.
I did. You're right.
So,
I talked about a lot about blue 6. I think I might have mentioned at some point something akin to the way Smell Fear works. So they're just ripping us.
Yeah, basically.
Start charging.
So one day.
I think they could unban Winter's Well.
Ooh.
Because whilst you're under the impression that they need to be careful with Jarl, I think if they want an actual Gatekeeper deck, Jarl's the one to do it.
No, they need to be careful with Fatigue Jarl. They need to be careful with the particularly the extreme end Fatigue Jarl archetype. I'd be very happy to see a mid-rangey Jarl archetype. That's fair.
Well, there was an Ice Jarl, like a mid-range to aggro, and obviously you need to play your Ice Blues to play Winter's Well. So it feeds into that. And it's infinitely better than whatever his weapon is, Stalactite.
Oh, his weapon, Summit the Unforgiving.
Yeah, that was it. It was so close to being playable.
My best pun ever.
So you could unban something like Winter's Wail, which I know for a fact if Ryan listens to this, he's going to be over the moon for, because he loves Winter's Wail. Same for Charlie.
Charlie. Good players for a reason.
Good. You could look at some other stuff, but I think it's quite close to really like the level. There's something to be said about unbounding Crown if you're going to hit Earth hard, but that's also like a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like you could take a lot of what makes Earth strong. Like you could take Vern's healing potions. You could take Florian's. You could take Reaping Blades.
Let's worry about what they're actually going to ban.
But we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
Again, I don't envy them the task either.
No, but I think I get the sense from talking to you that they're softening us up for quite a significant.
Well, Jimmy tweeted,
shift.
as he oft does, only about a week before the dev talk. Someone was like, "We need a huge shake-up," that kind of thing, and he responded saying, "There's one on its way."
Okay.
So Jimmy's often true to his word. If anything, he understates on Twitter.
Yeah.
So we could get.
I've yet to catch him in a mistake.
Here's a question
of that size yet.
5 above or under 5 cards banned?
Oh, over.
Damn.
Over, easy.
Above or under 3 cards unbanned?
Under.
Yeah, I think so too.
Under.
Bonds of Agony.
I think it will be 2.
Bonds of Agony, unbanned or not?
I think they will unban 2 cards. They will not be unbanning Bonds of Agony.
I hope.
And the reason they won't unban Bonds of Agony is because there's a new
Slippy deck that they need to sell, yeah.
Oh, hang
so
on.
That's the reason 2.
Hang on. Yeah, Cynical Brain says unban it. No, I think they will not unban it in this BNR. Because if you want to be really cynical about this, first of all, you get the initial wave of Slippy sales. And then when you unban Bonds in the next BNR, or the one after that,
all the ones that didn't sell this weekend,
you get a second wave of sales.
Ah, smart.
I'll tell you free, John. Currently, Reiner Armory deck sale pre-orders are through the roof versus Arachne. That's because Reiner's a cooler character, to be fair.
Yeah.
And a bad deck.
Unbiased opinion.
I mean, locally, where frankly Reiner has been plugged quite substantially.
Reiner hit, I think, finished just shy of the top 16 at Valencia.
Yeah.
Slippy didn't.
No. I mean, Slippy. I think we need to see how the Slippy deck shakes things up. I don't think it's going to be hugely impactful, but I think cynically you'll get initial wave, then the unban Bonds. I don't think unbanning Bonds this time around.
Just like last time, Slippy will see a marked increase in play rate and power by bringing Earth down, opposed to anything that brings Assassin up.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's how metagames work. So
I think they will unban 2 cards because I think they want to make the point. I really feel they want to make the point of this banning and unbanning cards is something we'll be doing to manage the format. So I think they need to unban 2. But I think they will ban more than 5. I'm not even sure if they will ban more than 10. I think we're going to see an extensive ban list.
I mean, 10 would be crazy.
I think it's going to be an extensive ban list.
Even the books wasn't 10.
I think they're going to.
It was like 9.
But I think the books one was permanent.
Yeah.
I think the point they will be making is, well, I'm banning these 2 cards, and we're banning these 10 cards, but the 10 cards we ban, we will state now, none of them are gone forever.
Yeah, they do mention that a little bit in the dev talk.
Do
about
they?
Being more of a live action.
I mean, they don't need to talk too much about it because obviously we've talked about it a lot, and therefore everyone's heard it from us
live
first.
Service.
Yeah, it's true. Well, if you've got the ear of the monarch, Mr. Flesh and Blood himself, maybe you should ask really nicely for your golden tipples back.
I mean, they could unban tipple. They could just ban the last tipple. They could really go hard. And
I mean, Gravy's still a strong deck with the tipple ban.
Yeah, Gravy won Valencia, I think.
Right.
Yeah. There's more to the dev talk yet.
Oh, there's more to the dev talk?
Only because they mention that because of the success of Fab, because of the way it's doing, they do also make a little snide reference to other card games that exist.
Really?
Because obviously Riftbound's been doing quite well.
Yep.
A few Fab players have gone and won some Riftbound tournaments. They do mention how some players might have headed out because of the staleness of this metagame, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that they'll be coming home soon.
Yes.
They do mention that because of the success of Fab, because Fab's obviously got past that new state of being the new game on the block, and is now here to stay kind of thing, they're planning further ahead when it comes to set releases. So they're planning a few years ahead now in terms of their dev. That's where they are.
Okay.
And we're already back here laughing at,
I'm fine with that.
10,
that's fine. I think
15
Fab has established itself sufficiently.
Now, obviously, Pen is set 18.
Okay.
We know this because
Yes.
they've said it.
Right.
They talk about how 19 is going to be fun. It's going to have limited drafts coming back, all that kind of stuff. We're excited for that. And they talk about how 20, set 20, is
so towards the latter half of next year.
Yeah, mid to it will be the final set. If
so September-ish next year
is the kicker.
Okay.
Jimmy was very excited about 20 because he's saying obviously it's 20 sets. That's a big milestone set. He said that a few times, and how there's a lot of things that from quite early on in the development they wanted to do, and they've kind of like either shied away from it or couldn't find the space for it. Stuff like 5 intellect heroes, all that kind of stuff. Mass Effect, Super Slam. A lot of that is going to be in set 20, and he's quite excited for that.
Okay.
And obviously, you can see he's a naturally very excitable man. So you can tell when he's excited.
You can tell. You can tell when he's excited. You can see it in High Seas.
So that's something to look forward to. Now, obviously, there's always something to look forward to with card games. That's the benefit of playing a card game. There's always a new set on the horizon. But set 20 is something that, I can get quite hyped for as well, right? Because obviously, having been here from almost the start.
Not WTR2.
Well, I don't think it is going to be Welcome to Earth 2. But it could be something cool in that regard. He does, however, speak about how compendium sets are going to be a thing going forward. There's going to be a compendium set every X amount of years.
What's going to make... Okay, well, what makes a compendium set a compendium... Is it?
I'm not Jimmy, John. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I look like him, but I'm not Jimmy White.
Cards for the classes, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's a fancy way of them saying we're not going to do these expansion sets often, but when we do them, they're going to be these compendium sets.
Okay, fine. So they've stopped doing expansion sets and now doing compendium sets, and it's a bit of a branding switch. Fine.
Yeah, and they can charge more for it because they're a premium set.
They are charging more for it.
It also sounds fancier.
Yeah.
It does sound fancy, that's very true.
Compendium.
Still reserving my opinions on the pricing until we see more cards.
For a company that burned all the books, compendium is a strong shout.
It is. Well, they need a new book.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
From the dev talk? I don't think so.
Okay.
There probably is, but I've forgotten it.
It clearly wasn't. Either wasn't important or we've already talked about it.
Exactly.
Like we have already talked about pretty much everything else they talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys called it.
Yeah, basically. You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a nice little bit from the chat. Chat got involved, and you asked chat what do they want to know about Fab.
That's true. We have been talking about the BNR a lot for the last 3 weeks. We can't talk about it again too much.
No, we've tried to talk about it as little as possible today.
So I opened up the mailbag, batted away the spiders and the cobwebs.
Yep.
And reached far down.
Any letters for Santa in there?
No, these are from a while back.
Okay.
reached all the way down and pulled out a few, which is to say, yeah, we did ask the locals if there's any questions that they think would be interesting to listen to us tackle.
Yes, go on then.
So more full then.
Yep, exactly.
There's a few softballs. There's a few.
When this guides the next 10 years of Fab.
Yeah, exactly. Because we know now.
Because we now know that they are in fact listening.
Exactly.
You have only yourselves to blame.
We have a few softballs to start with.
Okay.
One from one of our local long-time players. He's taken a bit of a break more recently. He wants to know, despite him being perhaps better positioned than ever, maybe even the best positioned deck in the format, why is Riptide's representation so low? Why don't you start us off, Lara?
Yeah, you're so right. I do actually know all about this. Maybe they're just not that cool. Maybe they can be good, but they're not cool.
That's
But
honestly,
you know
that's
what?
good
That
advice.
was my answer.
That's good advice, to be fair.
I genuinely,
comes
as
down to
much
that.
as I like things about Riptide, there are more appealing heroes out there, and I think that makes a difference. That's what it comes down to. I
There
think
is a degree of it.
I think that is what it comes down to.
You
I
have
think,
to have a cool factor for heroes.
I think we're just racist against the green heroes, Toby.
I mean, KO hasn't been doing overly well either.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible.
So you may have called it there because that was.
No, I just had a quick look at the art as well. I'm like, he looks cool, but is like the way he plays? Is it cool? Just because you can be the best deck in the format, but if it's really boring to play, then what's the point?
I've seen one of these questions. I've got an answer plan for this question, foreshadowing that answer. And again, I think that's part of it. Is the way he plays well is not the way he's meant to be played, and so and back when Riptide came out, our friend said to me outside Dice, he was really looking forward to play this hero because he could get the sense from the cards coming out that he did play a bit like he was retreating down into the lair, setting his traps as he goes.
Into his sewers, yeah.
Before coming out with a final blistering kill. Like a final blistering kill shot.
The traps are for weakening, and then you
yeah, exactly. And that was kind of and Fab plays very thematically, and that was kind of the theme. But the build that is doing well at the moment is, I'm going to say, Azalea Light.
So knock off Azalea to a
Azalea
degree,
Light. And so that, okay, you know what?
That's kind of boring. Yeah.
What other questions can Lara
He does have.
Yeah, it's kind of boring.
Because I think you're right.
He does have. He
doesn't play to his theme.
Yeah, which is dull.
Which, he's playing big arrows without the advantage of on-hit dominate. Whilst he has other advantages, he starts on lower life because of it. And
yeah, he does.
And
38.
So maybe he's just a not particularly good-looking hero in a world of very good-looking heroes.
He's got a charm.
And maybe nobody's cosplaying him. That could be.
That's true. He does look quite damn good
cosplayer.
This is quite true actually. Maybe that there's a direct link between Dex popularity and people cosplay them. I mean, I think as it stands right now, there's two ways to play Riptide in CC, right? You've got your red liner. It's not red liner anymore. It's the new one from High Seas because it needs to come in face up. You've got that bow that plays a lot more of a red line Cheerios version of the deck. A lot of your loading will come from one from the arrow, one from the bow, I should say, and one from Riptide's ability, that kind of stuff. And does play into his ability in that regard. And then you play a few of the traps to sort of get a bit of space, a bit of disruption, and also get those sort of last few pings that you need. There's also the Sandscour build, one that obviously our listener, if you haven't guessed by now, is Dan, has been playing with this new card, Take the Bait, and obviously great synergy there. Unfortunately, you only get to play 3 Take the Bait, and that's kind of the issue with that. You do get to do a lot of fun with aim counters and stuff too, specifically from,
I think
ironically,
fun to be had in the deck,
Armory deck.
but also nobody's broken the back of Riptide recently.
I don't think fundamentally he's that breakable.
No.
But I don't think that means he's not strong.
No, I agree, but I think we come down to he's not particularly good looking and doesn't have that play style that I think is becoming a bit of a signature of Fab, of the hero plays the way they feel.
I would argue that to a degree he still does scratch that itch to a device. The biggest
not as
issue
much
with Riptide
Yeah.
is that we are in, as ever, metagames have pillars, our strongest Hashiras, our strongest decks.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are Gravy and Verdance.
Yeah. And that's also not good for him.
And Gravy is very rough.
Yep.
You can build a Riptide deck to beat Gravy, don't get me wrong. And Verdance, if you are playing the right build of Riptide, can be quite winnable. And if you're not, it's quite rough too. You do eat Syndra. So there is that. There is that.
What else we got?
There is How Do Block. That's a good one.
How Do Block.
How Do Block.
Who asked that one?
That was Sam, renowned aggro
Sam,
player.
renowned
Plays
aggro
Dio.
player.
Bought into 5 because I told him it was a good deck.
Okay.
Apologies. Plays Katsu because I told him it was a good deck. I'm really sorry about that one too.
Yep. So
Why take advice from the man who loves the underdog?
Well, because I do know how to block.
Sure.
Did you do much blocking in Sage?
I did a decent amount.
Yeah.
I
It
put
was
some Tiger Reflex in that deck.
Yeah, I had wax on. I had some had some good cards. I had
card.
some decent cards.
Some bangers.
for some people.
I love wax on. I guess.
I did all right.
Yeah, exactly. I think if anyone can block,
Well, yes.
you too can block.
But okay, so I have 2 thoughts on this. One is just blocking, and the other is blocking as an aggro player. Because I feel blocking as an aggro player is a very different skill from just blocking.
There was a key adage to blocking as an aggro player.
I feel that blocking as as an aggro player is a bit like popping the chute in the drag race.
Sure.
And it is that thing you do at the end. You do it once at the end in order to buy yourself the space for killing blood.
I would agree. It's
yourself alive.
probably something that you do once.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes twice. But there is a fundamental key.
I feel as an aggro player I lose if I block twice.
Well, and this is the thing. If you're playing an aggro deck
Yep.
in a field, in
Yep.
a metagame,
Yep.
are you playing the best aggro deck? Because the response to that is, if you're not playing the best aggro deck, why are you playing your deck?
Yeah.
Because that's how aggro works, right?
Yeah,
You're
okay.
fundamentally racing.
Yep.
And if you're playing a deck that races, if you're not racing as fast as that guy,
Yeah.
why am I over here and not over there with that guy?
The maths just seems to work out that, certainly, I mean, Fi was brilliant at this because he's got a load of equipment that just blocks 2 right at the end.
Exactly. You have
And
to buy your extra space for your big
You
turn.
buy your space around about 10 life left, and you buy yourself that last little bit of space you need to hold the cards for the big turn.
And that's your answer.
Yeah.
That's your why am I not playing Syndra? Why am I not playing Aurora? And it's because I have this answer. Now, in Fi's case, it is because I get to play Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, but also because he can block.
Yeah.
Because sometimes actually
can.
your hands convert better number-wise defensively than offensively.
Well, we'll get back to value of hands. But
So I think the key adage for aggro, and for other decks as well, mid-range, quote-unquote, if it exists, is to block not because you can, but because you plan. You need to know exactly what you're doing with that block value. Because you're right, John. If you're using your equipment block to do it, you're only going to get that one shot. If you're using that sync blow that you've just drawn in, you brought 3 of them in to make that space, you need to really make use of it. You need to pop that mop, or you need to put your opponent into that lethal range. Otherwise, you are playing the worst aggro deck.
yeah. But then, okay, so beyond aggro decks, then the other reason, well, I suppose there are 2 other reasons for blocking.
There's multitude, John.
But, well, let's
love
simplify
blocking.
things. So there's 2 other reasons for blocking. One is because you're playing fatigue. Let's move past that. You're just blocking damage.
That's because
as
your
much
game's
as possible, because
your
that is
plan is
your
to block.
game plan.
Your cards are put into deck because they convert
actually,
defensively.
The reason to be good at blocking is because by blocking, you deny your opponent's game plan. And that's what you want to be doing with blocking, is not stopping damage. You want to be denying your opponent's game plan by stopping some damage.
I mean, if her game plan is damage, like a deck like Aurora, for example, then knowing how to block Aurora is, for example, very different to blocking
if their game
Syndra.
plan is intimidate cards out of your hand, and they're going to swing 2 big attacks out at you, you want to be blocking that first attack, not holding on to the cards.
Yeah.
If
And then they splat skull you.
If their plan is to draw a card off of Mask Momentum, you want to be blocking that Mask Momentum correctly, and the game becomes, can you block me out of it?
You're blocking around Flick, you're blocking around Mask Momentum.
You're
Into
blocking around a whole
Aurora,
bunch of things.
you are
So-
quite often sandbagging your equipment block and saving it for those burn-up shock turns,
Yep.
but also knowing that every other turn in theory, you should be able to match in terms of power, and so you shouldn't be blocking at all.
So blocking is less about the damage it prevents, more about the game plan it prevents.
And again,
that's where it becomes a card game. That's where it becomes a card
I
game.
always want to have a card game, John, because again, how do block boils down to you need to know exactly what every other deck is trying to do.
That's also why it's hard, yes.
Which is kind of the benefit of playing an aggro deck.
What's next?
We could do, just to wrap up these smaller ones, we could probably do some bigger ones at a later date. The origins of how we started playing the game. We did mention it, we talked about it a little bit.
So, I mean, okay.
We heard about your first ever game.
We heard about my first
against
ever
the
game.
Tyrant that was Kodachi 5.
I've got a good story, actually.
Nick.
I've got a good story for my first ever
Shoot.
game.
I've got all night, John.
I had been playing a lot of Pokemon because the kids were playing Pokemon.
I've heard of it. It's
And
niche.
I had a random evening off of everything. I was just told, go out there and have fun. Go to the cinema, go do something, and we were coming out of lockdown still. Not
True.
lockdown, but coming out of the COVID period. And I was just told, right, go do something that
have
doesn't
fun.
involve being... Yeah, basically just get out of the house.
Go away.
For an evening. And I called my local game store where one of our local strongest soldiers of Fab, Mod, was behind the till.
Bless them.
And I called them up, and they knew me from Pokemon, because I'm not from playing Pokemon.
You dabbled.
Around. They knew who I was. And I said, I'd like to play with this evening's card game. What's on? And their response was, well, we've got Fab and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I said, well, what's good? And they went, well, you're not going to enjoy Fab.
Really? Mod said that?
It's gonna be really hard to put a deck together.
But now I'm curious. They've cast out the bait.
You've piqued my
Expertly,
interest.
exactly. I'd say expertly done.
So and the other choice was Yu-Gi-Oh. So
Yeah.
so I drove to my other local game store, Chaos Cards.
Oh god, don't mention them.
I bought a box of Tales of Aria.
Oh god.
And a Blitz Lexi deck, because that was what they had.
As you dated it, yeah.
I ripped all the packets open. I shoved some cards together. And in defiance of all things...
That's not far off my deck building procedure, to be fair.
Rocked up to... Then I drove back to DICE.
Yep.
And bought into the Fab tournament. And went downstairs. And then got slaughtered in the first two turns by a very patient Nick. And then got slaughtered in the first two turns by a very patient Mod, who was obviously clearly delighted I actually decided to play Fab in the end, despite their best efforts to put me off.
They did try.
The old, you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
It's
like
too
it.
spicy.
This isn't for you. This isn't for you. Putting decks together is hard. You probably shouldn't do that one. Maybe they didn't in fact try and encourage me to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Frankly, I was a bit late. What's this?
Might have to censor a lot of this just for the safety of the people involved.
Oh no, I've spoken to Mod about this several times. They know what they did.
Do the people know? Well, what about Mod's upstanding reputation? Well, they will suffer due to this.
They've apologised
publicly.
After this,
they're gonna have to. Yeah. Very nice.
So that was kind of how I got into the game of. And then it played very differently, and I suppose I've stuck with it because I do think LSS care about the game competitively, and that's what I wanted.
Well, when you've played other card games, competitive card games, which we played Pokemon, you start to get more of a general understanding of card games as a whole and how they're treated by the people who run them and who play them. And I'm not saying that Pokemon's competitive scene is bad. It's actually one of the stronger ones in terms of card games I've played. There's a degree of things I'd like to see pulled across.
It's
from
not bad.
Pokemon.
It's very strongly supported, but it's by the players. But there's you can just see there's so much the company could do that not bothering to do.
There's quite a disconnect between the company as a large, Mr. Pokemon himself, and the card game. But there's also only so much you can do with the card game, with its foundations.
So that was.
And it is fundamentally for the kids, right?
Yeah.
Some of the adults, ourselves included, take it a bit too seriously, but it's what it is. Those 9-year-olds had it coming.
I'm gonna.
You should have 12 polygons.
Exactly.
Do you want to answer that question, or do we do another question? I think I've got time for one more.
We'll save my origin story for another
Fine,
rainy
fine.
day. Maybe it's
on
a
the
little
edge of
Christmas
your
treat.
seats, I'm sure.
Maybe a special episode where if John can't make it, we can just do a bunch of stories between me and anyone else who wants to listen. In terms of another quick one, this one, again, not relevant for me, so we can ask you, John. I can interview you.
Okay, fine.
Because, as we know, any heroes we've had our eyes on and what we'd need to buy into them doesn't apply to me, John, because if I have my eye on a hero, I've bought into them.
And I've got a fair few, but...
Give me one to start with.
I tell you what I'm buying into. Other than Brute, obviously. But I'll tell you what I'm buying into, ready for the next one. And that's Illusionist.
Sure.
I
Get out.
don't like Prism
Leave
that
my
much.
house.
But I think Illusionist does some cool things generally. And I'm looking forward to the next Illusionist. And I believe I have now managed to acquire, since all unplayed sitting on my desk, I believe I now have all the M's that were played previously in all the generic Illusionist. All the generic Illusionist M's, because they're cheap.
They are cheap.
And I think the Illusionist equipments, the generic Illusionist equipments as well.
Footsteps is the
yeah,
killer.
and I've got some MST bits because I had Zen, but Illusionist, specifically Mystic Illusionist, because I think that's coming. But Illusionist is sort of the class that I've looked at and gone, kind of wish I'd played that class a bit more. Even Prism, I think I'd like to have got my head around.
Because the boat has kind of gone on Illusionist to a degree. Like, we do still have Prism 2 in the format, and she is, I think, poised for a return in terms of metagame. But we don't have even something like Enigma. We don't have like base Prism, Dramai, something like that. We also have Gravy as his own certain sort of replacement.
Obviously, I borrowed Rhino last weekend. I'm hoping to borrow him again this weekend. Maybe with a sideboard guide this time.
I'm also I might also make him Ravenous Meat X this week.
Oh right, I don't know how I feel about
that. Put it like this, John. It's a lot easier to play.
Okay.
And actually, it might be better positioned.
Fine. So I'm buying into Brute, and I think Brute's a very interesting class. I don't know if we've discussed that much. I think we may have done the podcast about how
no, John. I'm a Roomblade player.
How Rhinar has this sort of central mid-range position, and then now there are other Brutes who occupy lots of other positions around him. So you can push Brute in very different. You can push all the Brutes in all sorts of different directions.
My fundamental theory is that. Same with all the Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising like base heroes, base classes, all future ones take an avenue of what they can do and expand on it.
Yeah.
So all the Brutes, including Tough Nut and the other one, RKO, do take something that OG Rhino could do and can do, and kind of do it in their own way and fundamentally kind of do it a little bit better. But then he does leave something to himself that he can only do, which is to say intimidate or demand. I guess, Illusionist for you, John.
Illusionist, yeah.
The question is, what about you, dear?
Well, when you pulled up the list of all the heroes and you were like, aesthetically, just pick some heroes that you like the look of. I remember one of them I picked out was Prism.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really, really liked the way she looked.
And then I projectile vomited.
Yeah, and then Toby said, don't you ever speak that name to me ever again. Another one.
Have you got Prism?
No. Prism Illusionist is the last bastion and the one I'll never break, I assume, unless Clara wants to.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, the other one was Ira. I do also, aesthetically, Dorinthia is so cute. Love Dorinthia. I also really liked Nu.
Yep.
But I was told that that is a big brain deck, and I'm not ready for big brain deck yet.
Well, it's definitely a difficult one to sell as a starter deck.
I got told Fab was too hard for me. So
that's true. You were told it was too spicy, but you were fine.
Just told it was it was not right for me. Full stop. So
don't ever think about playing Fab.
It was Dash as well. You like the look of Dash.
Oh, to be fair,
which one?
It was OG,
original.
but it was at the end of her time span. Okay. So there's a world where something like Dio, but again, it's so hard to recommend a deck like Dio with like a lot of depth, a lot of complexity to a newer player, because you go, here you go, try Dio, and they go, I had a miserable time.
This sucked.
I don't know, because I know for a long time, you've been saying start with a deck that gives you the breadth of skills in Fab, right? And back when I started, people were saying play Bravo because you do a bit of attacking and a bit of blocking.
You had fundamentals, heuristics.
But when we're at the point where all the heroes are such distinct archetypes, I don't think that applies anymore.
We don't get it anymore. And also, if you're playing it like that, you need to have this almost encyclopedic understanding of what every other deck's trying to do.
And I guarantee you, the first time you sit down with a deck like Ira, attack, big attack. Okay.
Hitch blue, Kodachi, whatever else is in your hand.
But as soon as you sit down with that deck, your first opponent's going to be Blaze or Kano.
Yep.
Or
something that fundamentally
Prism.
whips apart.
And something that just goes, well, I play just a different game to you.
Do you
understand one of the instances?
You're playing checkers.
And this is the kind of... I mean, Fab has actually been in this space for quite a while, right? Because we have had Prism and we have had Wizards since the second set. But it is hard to explain this to a new player and be like, okay, so this is the game that most of the time you'll be playing, and then there's like these 3 other sub games that you might play depending on who you get paired against. But there's also a lot of players who relish that chance, who love the idea of being like, give me a hard deck, I want to figure it out, I want the challenge, I want the difficulty. And honestly, like Lara, you could pick it up pretty quick. I could give you deal, and you could probably crack it within too long.
Who beat who at Sage?
Precisely, she kicked my ass.
Well.
She obliterated me. And I was playing the easy little silly smooth brain deck in 5.
Right.
So, again, I think, barring Prism, I think if there is a deck that you want to play, dear, we'll look into building it, and that counts for you as well, John. I suppose I can call you dear too. Yeah. For the listeners at home.
I'm going to save the rest of the questions for another time.
Well, unfortunately, John, we don't have time, and so it might be that we end up doing something at some point. Maybe I'll get someone else in.
More questions with Energy Potion another time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
Thank you much.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, no, thank you for beating
having you
on
on.
stage.
You work here.
Yeah, I now need to leave.
You're here every week.
I need to leave.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Energy Potion, a Flesh and Blood podcast. If you liked it, please consider subscribing for more. If you disagree with any of these opinions, please let us know in the comments and we'll either defend them robustly or completely cave and agree with you. This podcast was made possible with help from the team at Le Bon 22 Productions and a special donation from the Cracked Bauble Appreciation Society and their sponsors.